In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
So welcome back, Stef Burns, guitarist. That was a little commercial break that we have, but it kind of usually signifies, us coming from the past now a little bit more into the present, because currently what you've been doing is you've been playing now for a good many years with one of the biggest artists in Italy. It's maybe the biggest, would you say?
Well, I think he is. It's certainly as far as live, and maybe there's other artists that tour more and tour around the world. Someone salty and stuff, but Vasco is the biggest in Italy for sure.
So Vasco Rossi, for those of you that might not know, but you probably do, he plays bigger venues. I believe the legend goes that the Rolling Stones asked if they could open for him at a show in Italy. Is that the way it is true?
I'm not sure.
Even if it's not true, let's just say it is. And I'm actually drinking Voss water. It should be actually Vasco, but I'm drinking it a little bit in tribute today for, and I know that you're drinking something as well.
I'm drinking some apple juice.
Let's dive back into Vasco, because how did that whole gig come around? Because it's right out of Alice Cooper, or right around the time that I joined Alice, and I think it was right around that 95, 96 era, right?
Yeah. What happened was, I go back to give thanks to Joe Satriani, because he got me on the Alice Cooper record, 91. Look at those young guys. Now there is when people started cutting our hair, at least me and Derek did. So this is on 94.
That's amazing. So that's great. But wait a second. The guy who was that next in the green? That is
Ricky something. He was filming called a video. That's a video photo. He didn't do any gigs with us. He shot maybe Lost in America video shoot. That's probably what that is, off of Last Destination. And
I think you guys did your all lips. I think either they did that thing where they photoshopped your lips a little bit more pink, or you guys were all taking a lot of vitamins.
We might have been sweating after the video, or I think it's just something happened.
So I guess Vasco hears "Hey Stupid," and he's caught by love.
Vasco and his producer Guido Elmi hear "Hey Stupid." They're looking at it because it's attracting so much attention with all of these superstar guitar players on there. And Ozzy Osbourne and Nikki Sixx, not on guitar, adding to that. So, and they're listening to all these guitar players, listening to all these great solos, and then they hear me on there, and they're hearing the rhythm tracks. Again, solid rhythm track. The key to working in this business is not to be a flashy shredder, but to play rock solid rhythm. And they said,
great advice, actually, great advice, and.
Absolutely. And then they heard the solos, and I thought, this guy's good. Let's have him come over and record. So I went to LA and I recorded a couple of songs on that album. Then they asked me to go. That was 93, 94. They asked me to come and do a 94. I don't know if anything happened. I'm still playing with Alice and YNT. 95. They brought me to Italy and
your debut.
Big debut show. But then it was just an event that year, so it was kind of like a tryout thing. And then starting from 96, I was speaking with Toby Mamis, who was Alice Cooper's manager, as you know.
Still is, yeah.
Hey, Toby, what's up? And he was telling me about how many gigs they had. And at that point, I'm thinking, how many gigs? Well, they weren't working a lot. Alice was, we got about 6 in November, and then we got a weekend in December. So we got about 9 to 12 shows. Okay, Vasco, how many you got? We're doing 42 arenas throughout Italy. And so I was like, I gotta go to Italy. I gotta go to Italy. And and it was a beautiful opportunity, and I loved it. And I hated saying goodbye to Alice, but I loved my new life, and it became an Italian life.
You are my Joe Satriani.
And so
if it wasn't for you honestly saying that, you know what, I'm going to do this Vasco gig, the door wouldn't have opened for me to come in. So thank you, Stef Burns, for in part opening the door for me to get into Alice Cooper. Wow. This is something that could only happen on a live stream, because again, we've said hello before. I believe, we said, hey, what's happening? we've met at a couple shows or a festival here or there, but we've never had an in-depth talk. And honestly, now I see the way things work out in the timeline. You are partially responsible. It's not Bobby from Mates who's taken all the credit for me getting into Alice Cooper for so many years.
No.
Yeah,
No,
Bobby. That shady, slim shady character from Mates Rehearsal has taken all the credit all these years, and it actually was you, Steph. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to have helped.
It was always you.
I'm Ryan Roxie, and I've taken all my years of experience of playing guitar, and I want to pass the torch of rock and roll on to you. Check out the System 12 Guitar Method.